What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are counting down 10 amazing LEGO sets that no one knows exist. These are hidden gems from LEGO's massive back catalogue that quietly came and went before most people even noticed. Some of these sets were on shelves less than a year, whilst others dropped with barely any marketing, but all of them are seriously underrated. So we're going to start off in at 10th place, and we have the Temple of Airjitzu. This Ninjago set was a stunning display piece with 2,028 pieces and a retail price of $200. For many fans, this was the first LEGO set that really pushed Ninjago into the realm of adult display pieces. But despite its size and beauty, it flew under the radar. Why? Well, that's because of timing. It launched right before modular buildings and adult LEGO sets really took off. It had a really limited shelf life, just over a year, but now is one of the most sought after Ninjago sets ever made. At number 9 we've got a Speed Champions underrated hit, the Ferrari 458 Italia GT2 from 2015. This set had only 153 pieces, retailed for $15 and came with a minifigure in full Ferrari racing gear. It was one of the first cars to feature printed Ferrari logos on curved bricks, which collectors love. It barely made a blip on LEGO fans' radars, especially compared to the later Speed Champions models. This set was actually part of the original wave of Speed Champion sets before the line really found its stride. That meant tiny box sizes, barely any shelf space, and many LEGO fans simply missed it. Combine that with a limited production run and you've got a highly underrated gem that's really tough to find sealed today. Coming in at number 8 is set 75087, Anakin's Custom Jedi Starfighter, a 2015 LEGO Star Wars set based off the Clone Wars micro series that very few casual fans even remember. This set retailed for $40 and came with Anakin Skywalker and Asajj Ventress, and both of those minifigures are exclusive to this set. Its biggest issue is actually also its biggest strength, and that is the fact that it's not part of the Star Wars continuity technically. It's actually based off the Clone Wars miniseries, which only had 2 episodes, and although it was great, it actually got retconned and removed from continuity. The sleek blue and white Delta 7B Starfighter looks amazing, but maybe not as good as some other Jedi Starfighters that would follow this one. It also had a very short shelf life, just about 7 months, making it one of the most shortest lived Jedi Starfighters in LEGO history. So for that reason, this became a bit of a sleeper set. At number 7 we've got set 7596, the Toy Story Trash Compactor Escape. This was released in 2010 as part of the short-lived Toy Story 3 line. This set included 370 pieces and had a recommended retail price of $50. It's one of the most unique playsets LEGO ever made for the Toy Story theme, but it was just gone so quickly. This set launched near the end of the Toy Story 3 movie hype, which meant most stores had actually cleared it out fast. It also had a limited international distribution, so many fans outside the US and the UK never even saw it, which is just another reason that this is one of the most coolest and rarest Toy Story sets out there. Number 6 brings us to a LEGO set that Star Wars fans still can't believe exist, set 7754, the Home 1 Mon Calamari Star Cruiser, released back in 2009. This was a 781 piece LEGO set that sold for $110 and featured 6 minifigures, including General Madine, Admiral Akbar and Mon Mothma, all of which are exclusive to this LEGO set. The set itself recreated the briefing room and hangar of the Rebel flagship from Return of the Jedi, but the reason it flew under the radar is because it just wasn't tied to a major release, and when you pair that to the fact that it also had a really short retail run, and also the fact that many collectors and Star Wars fans at the time were far more focused on the Clone Wars sets that were being released at the time. So all of those factors really did add up to making this one a real sleeper classic. So halfway through the list now, and at number 5 is a LEGO set from way back in 2004, set 10131, the TIE Fighter Collection. And this retailed for $50 and came with 682 pieces. And that is amazing value for money compared to modern Star Wars pricing, and I just love the fact that this is just something so unique. The idea that you get all of the more notable TIE vehicles is just such a cool feature. I think what makes this set so special is just how ahead of its time it was. It was never re-released and it had a very limited availability, which means that most fans don't even know it exists. If LEGO released something similar to this nowadays, I'm sure it would sell out almost instantly because the idea of the set is just such a winner. At number 4 is one of the most iconic DC sets that barely anyone remembers, set 7783, the Batcave, the Penguin and Mr. Freeze's Invasion. Now this massive set came with 1075 pieces, retailed for $90 and was released all the way back in 2006. You get some great minifigures like classic Penguin, Mr. Freeze, Bruce Wayne and Robin, but what made the set go so unnoticed is the fact that the original LEGO DC theme only lasted about a year and a half, so even though the Batcave was brilliant, it disappeared really quickly, and with no DC superheroes line at the time and very little marketing, this set faded into obscurity, only to become one of the more rare and expensive DC sets on the secondary market. In a third place, we've got what may be one of the most underrated pirate LEGO sets of all time, set 10210, the Imperial Flagship. This beast included 1664 pieces, came with 9 minifigures and retailed for $180. It featured fully rigged sails, a detailed captain's quarters, working cannons, and one of the finest LEGO ship designs ever produced. It was part of the short-lived Pirates revival wave, and that was discontinued in just under a year, making it really rare. I think because it wasn't a part of the Pirates of the Caribbean or some kind of licensed line, it never really got the spotlight it deserved. But that has certainly changed nowadays. I mean, sealed sets of these go for well over £1,000 and close to $1,500. But if you ask a lot of newer LEGO fans, they'll tell you they've never even seen this set. To me, it's crazy how one of the best pirate themed LEGO sets has gone totally under the radar culturally. Moving on to our runner up, this is a weird and wonderful LEGO set from LEGO's early superhero days, set 1376, Spider-Man Action Studio, and this set was released back in 2002. This was LEGO's way of combining filmmaking with superheroes. Sadly, it was released in extremely limited numbers and retired within 6 months. This is certainly a real sleeper set in the fact that most people don't even know this set even exists, probably due to how limited of a run this set had. So if you're in for those older, rarer LEGO sets, this one is certainly up there. And at number 1 is probably the most underrated DC set of all time, set 76001, the Bat v Bane Tumbler Chase, which was released back in 2013. Now don't get me wrong, this is not a rare LEGO set, especially when compared to other sets on this list, and for some reason this set just left no cultural footprint in the LEGO space. No one ever talks about it. In fact, a lot of people don't even know this set exists, which is pretty crazy because the set is based off the Dark Knight Rises movie. This set included 368 pieces and had a recommended retail price of $40. The three minifigures in this set are Commissioner Gordon, Bane and Batman in a very inaccurate suit. The Bat vehicle was sleek and surprisingly accurate for its size, but the Tumbler was rather small and lackluster, and it just didn't have that tank-like presence that it should have had. This set was buried under the wave of Marvel popularity at the time and only lasted a few months on shelves. What's shocking though is that for such a cool LEGO set, it's still really cheap to buy brand new sealed, which I think is very odd considering it's the only LEGO set based off the Dark Knight Rises movie. So if you're a massive fan of the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, then you may want to consider picking this set up. I know I certainly will. So there we have it guys, there are 10 LEGO sets that barely no one knows even exists. Let me know down in the comments which one you think is the coolest. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have done so, please consider subscribing to the channel as it really does help the channel out. Anyway, thank you for watching, have a great day and I'll see you on the next one.